got up at 3 in the morning to watch us lose 3-0. Flipping brilliant. Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. 6 things that we learned from Chelsea 0, Bayern Munich 3. I look a bit silly now because it's pissing with rain outside. There's a thunderstorm. It's 3 in the morning. I woke up to hopefully see us get something so that we're still in the tie come the Allianz Arena when we go to Munich later on this month. All because of 8 minutes of lack of concentration. We are out of the tie now. I think if we go to the Allianz Arena and manage to qualify, I'm trying to think of something that I would do. I have no idea. I actually have absolutely no ideas whatsoever because it's not going to happen. What we saw today was a golfing class between probably Europe's best team at this moment in time and a team who have probably been overachieving this season. And I think that this is a massive comeback to earth. I know that I've had like blinding optimism for the majority of this season. I even had a lot of optimism regarding this game in my preview. I said how Chelsea can beat Bayern Munich. I actually stand by the things that I said, but I also was kind of hoping that Bayern would have an off day, and they really didn't have an off day. If anything, they were as switched on as I've seen any team in Europe, particularly come to Stamford Bridge. It was a 3-0 defeat, and we move into box number 1. We've got to dissect this game, even though it wasn't the result that we wanted. And I'm going to try and be as, without trying to just shove as many people under the bus as possible, because I think there were some really poor performances in that second half today. First half I thought was very good. I thought that Willy Caballero had a good half, but he conceded 3 goals, so we're not going to have to be able to give him any good boxes today. I also think Christensen had a good half, and I thought Kovacic had a good half as well in the first half. But the second half, the physical inferiority within this Chelsea team was painstakingly obvious to see. Even one of our top players all season and one of our strongest players, Reece James, 19-year-old Alonso Davis, had him for strength, had him for pace. We were being beaten to the ball all over the pitch. We weren't winning tackles, we weren't winning the muscular battles. Mason Mount was getting out-muscled by the defenders, and even when we did create opportunities, we weren't able to assert any authority on the game whatsoever. In terms of a lack of pace in the team, Azpilicueta slips up. I've given Azpilicueta red boxes enough this season. I think that if he doesn't slip, Bayern probably don't score the goal. He'd have been able to keep up with Gnabry in terms of Azpilicueta would have been in position if he didn't slip, but he did. And it's at this level in the Champions League against a team such as Bayern Munich who have got all of that pace, they've got all of that physicality. You cannot make those kind of mistakes, and that lapse in concentration led to the first goal. And I didn't realise before how inferior we are in a physical sense to this Bayern Munich team. It was crazy. So box number 2, and again, I think a catalyst for all of this concentration lapses within the game was the pointless booking that Georginas got, the yellow card for mouthing off at the referee. And at the time, the tie wasn't over. Georginas was giving it all of this to the referee, gets himself a yellow card, which not only, kind of raises the tempo and the tension of the game in a negative light in Bayern Munich's favour because Chelsea are getting frustrated. It was the most pointless booking that not only changes the tension in the game, but it also means that he misses the second leg. I don't think Georginas had the best game today. I thought he was caught out in the middle. I thought Thiago for Bayern Munich was absolutely sensational. I also think that Kimmich was brilliant as well for Bayern. It exposed us, and I think if there was a central midfielder that did well, we'll go on to him in a minute. Georginas didn't do very well. The pointless booking really wound me up. I've got a bit of a sore throat because it's like the middle of the night here, so I had about 3 hours sleep before making this video and watching the game. But we go on about Georginas as this leader. We go on about Georginas, or I go on about Georginas as being this kind of leadership figure in the team, the man who's got the experience. Doing stuff like that in the biggest game of the season, for me, it deserves a red box on its own. So box number 3, I'm going to give it a yellow box because I want to give Frank some credit. I think it was a very bold decision to stick with the same team that he did against Spurs. I know that I said in my preview that I thought he was going to play 3 at the back. I thought it was the best option. Looking at it and the way that Bayern Munich controlled the game, I don't really think there was much else that Frank could have done, apart from maybe taking out Barkley, sticking on Willian from the beginning. I don't think there was very much that Frank could have done to combat any of Bayern's qualities. I think that we have to look at this for what it really is. Frank Lampard this season, in my opinion, has overachieved. I think that we did not expect to be in the top 4. We didn't even expect maybe to even get out of the Champions League group. It was the goal, and then anything beyond that was always the dream. With Frank, because he wasn't backed in January, we weren't able to strengthen. We've brought in Ziyech now, and next season he's going to come in and improve the team, as well as other signings that we're likely to make as well. I've put in bold yet not backed, kind of allowed ourselves this situation where we knew that Bayern Munich were always going to have a stronger squad. We've had injuries that Frank can't do anything about, and I think he picked the team as best he could have done in hindsight with the situation at hand. We put in a great performance against Spurs. You want to carry that on. You want to give people games off of merit. It's just a shame, really, because I wanted to go to Munich with some kind of hope that we could actually go through. Whereas now, we've gone from making like 2 of the most positive videos on the channel. I can hardly speak properly, and it's kind of all negative. But I know what you can do. You can have a flipping glass of water, or I wish it was stronger. Ridiculous. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about positives with a 3-0 defeat, but I did say before the game that this would be the match where Mateo Kovacic really showed his class. If there was one player for Chelsea tonight, I think, who didn't have the worst game, it was Mateo Kovacic. I said before the game, I said it yesterday in my blinding optimism, my desire to want to put in a great performance tonight for the Blues. Kovacic, I thought, was brilliant in the first half. I thought he tried to control the game for Chelsea. We were offloading the ball way too quickly. We weren't able to keep possession. Everyone was kind of getting it, seeing the Bayern Munich press, panicking, offloading the ball, and then we lose possession, and then it's like rinse and repeat from Bayern Munich. In the first half, if we're going to try and take some more positives, the rain is getting worse outside. I thought that Kovacic did what he's done all season. He tries to carry the ball forward. He tries to create something. He only passes when he needs to. His first thought is to dribble and to dribble forward. And I think that Kovacic, again, in this game, the rain is absolutely awful right now. It's very hard for me to sit here in a 3-0 defeat and come up with any kind of positive from this game, but I thought Kovacic showed his class yet again. Moving into box number 5, and this man has not had a red box yet this season because I am Reece James's biggest fan, but he was exposed in this game tonight. I think that in the first half he was reluctant to go forward. I don't know if it was a nervous thing. I thought that he put Azpilicueta into a few sticky situations with some passes a couple of times at the touchline. He didn't go forward at all, which is something that is one of the best elements of Reece James's game. From a defensive standpoint, when Bayern Munich scored their second goal, I want to see him sprinting back. He was nowhere near being in a right position defensively. I know he's a wing back and he was asked to go forward a lot more, and he did start going forward a lot more in the beginning of that second half. I needed to see more commitment from Reece. I needed to see him using his body weight. Alonso was probably one of the best players on the pitch tonight for Bayern Munich. I think Reece James enabled him to look as good as he did. Yes, he defended extremely well. Alonso to be able to muscle Mason Mount off the ball, to be able to come back in, and when he's lost ground, he tracks back, and he was brilliant in that sense. But going forward as well, he was a massive outlet, and I do feel a little bit for Reece because Gnabry had an absolutely fantastic second half as well. And with those two kind of players, it was very difficult when Azpilicueta wasn't putting in the best performance. But I've got to keep it fair. I've given Azpilicueta red boxes a lot this season. I'm going to give Reece a red box today because I do think he was exposed, and I think that maybe the occasion got to him a little bit. So the final box, and to round up this 6 things that we learned video, I apologise for the energy. It's very difficult to sit here at 5 o'clock in the morning and come up with any good reasons as to why I should be energetic for you guys today. But the concentration, I think, for me was the difference today. Bayern Munich were always on the ball. Kimmich gave it away once, Neuer gave it away once. Other than that, there were very few, if any, errors in that Bayern Munich side. And the lack of discipline from Georginas, bringing it back to box number 2, the lack of tracking back, and then I can't sit here and not tell you about Marcos Alonso. The man is... he frustrates me beyond belief. 1 minute, he's scoring winning goals against Spurs on numerous occasions. The next minute, he's getting red carded for stupid tackles and flying elbows or whatever it was. A mixture of everything. The occasion got the better of him as well. Frustration, you're 3-0 down. You've just got to try and keep your head. You've got to try and keep your cool. And Marcos Alonso, thanks to the video assistant referee, we're not going to bitch about it today. I thought the referee actually did well, and I like what they do with VAR in the Champions League. There's no fuss, far less hassle, the game goes on. Alonso, just, you don't do that, mate. I'm sorry, it's just not good enough for me. 10 men, no Alonso in the Allianz, no Georginas. It kind of changes the way that we could shape up in the Allianz Arena. Gives Frank Lampard more issues in terms of tactical decisions. And I think that the one key thing in this game, to round off this video, that was completely scarce in the Chelsea team, it was that person who could create something out of nothing, the way that Gnabry did, the way that Lewandowski controlled the game. Robert Lewandowski, Willy Caballero made some good saves to deny him in the first half. If Lewandowski's not scoring the goals, Serge Gnabry's scoring the goals. There were so many players that could have done so much for Bayern Munich. Credit to Thomas Muller as well. I don't like doing this. I don't like giving too much praise to the other team because this is a Chelsea channel and we like to focus on our own team. Thomas Muller was sensational. Just like I said in my match preview, you're probably going to see him getting into a load of space, coming up with lots of opportunities. Thomas Muller was absolutely phenomenal. We needed a player like that tonight. We didn't have somebody. Mason Mount was trying to create stuff, but when he shot, it was snapshots, and when he did get into good positions, he was out-muscled. So Chelsea's creativity was pretty much null and void. It's a dreadful defeat. Chelsea 0, Bayern Munich 3. Awful second half, and I mean, I can't sit here anymore and say that I think we're going to qualify. We're not going to get out of this. It's a case of probably damage limitations now. We could go to Bayern Munich and put in an incredible performance, but to go there and score 3 and then not concede any, and that's just to take it to extra time, I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit here and bullshit my way through the rest of this video. I don't think it's going to happen. What we've seen today, it kind of gives us a little step back as to where we really are right now with this squad, where we really are in our development. Bayern Munich, they're the best team I've seen play all season that played against us. They were absolutely sensational, take nothing away from the away side. Chelsea with it all to do. Chelsea 0, Bayern Munich 3. This has been 6 things we learned here on the George Benson Football Channel, a series that we do after every single game. This isn't the most upbeat video I'll ever make. Hopefully it gets better at the weekend. But subscribe if you're new around here. Hit the like button, I guess, if you want to support the channel. Not because you liked what you saw on the football pitch today from Chelsea. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all later. Bye-bye.